5, 4. Welcome back to New Realities, another amazing show I have prepared for you today with a good someone I trust, I have to say, someone I really trust, and someone who's really tapped into a higher consciousness, and she's just been, I would say, turned on to the whole ET thing, right? Because Julie Greene was a medium, a psychic, intuitive for many years, but then you tapped into this other level. What happened, besides my book, to tap you into this other realm?
Thank you. And it's been a process, like everything. It's a slow roll, with these kinds of contacts. It's a very, very coming together. It's a very gentle, slow process for many of us, because it's so beautiful and it's so powerful that we need to digest it almost in increments.
But did something happen that suddenly you woke up? And because I think a lot of the medium psychics I talk to, they don't get into this field. They're very earthbound, ironically. Yeah. Earthbound spirits.
It's the light, right? So it's the more like working with us, more information to come. We expand as we step into our light as individuals. We get more information. It's just information. It's just downloads. So I've been a practicing, reader, seer, for a while now. And as I continue to do it, more comes through me. So it's completely self-generated. And I'm saying it's not something that happens or that comes at you. It's an opening of your own energy that allows the information and the connection to come through. So we can all do this. I'm not any more special than anybody else. It's just I've gotten rid of all the crap in the way of the connection coming through energetically. Starts. It's all energy anyways. You know what I'm saying? It's very simple.
No, but did something shift from just being a medium, a psychic, to this whole other field? Because it's like going from AM radio to like Wi-Fi. That's where you're at.
Yeah. Well, I will say, just a group channeling session, one of my first ones that I've done with, like, I do my Instagram stuff, but in person for a group of women, the women that you're going to meet when you come into town. Yes. And that's where it came through, Alan. I was doing a love reading for Valentine's Day. All these women, these amazing women, super successful, super common, do channeling for them around their love life. Okay, so I have my romance angel cards. I got all my loved up shit. I'm like, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into romance. The first thing that came through is that we need to land the ship. Okay, it was like we're landing the ship, and everyone in the room was like, holy shit, they knew exactly what I was talking about. And so it just kind of went from there. And then I just started to feel it, and I just started to feel it and feel it and feel it. And it just opened us all up. And that's really, it was like a portal opened, and it was this female, feminine energy of just strong, I don't know. And so when we talked the last, I mentioned that it's the feminine energy coming online that's making the contact a little bit easier to swallow and a little bit more gentle for everybody, because that's what it needs, is gentle.
So this was a new thing that suddenly came into your field, like brand new, right?
And it was a week, it was on Valentine's Day. So that's what, February 14th. I mean, no surprise, because it's love, right? This is love. This is like a new kind of love that people haven't really fully, they're afraid of it. That's the thing. There's so much fear around this, right? And this is what I want to help a little bit, right? Is just relaxing some of that fear around it. That's what's so important. So how do we do that? We talk about it. We just allow our fears to just sort of release, you know what I mean? It's just a different way of approaching things, because it's just getting amped up, and this is where we're trying to make it easier, but humans are difficult, right? They're very stubborn. And so that's why we need a gentle approach, right? To allow the energies to merge, because it's really just, it's just like a reunion. That's the thing. This is not some big, it's basically this idea of like coming back around to those that you've already been with. It's a homecoming of sorts. That's what I pick up. That's what I'm feeling, is that we're really not any much different. We are the same. It's just now finally we're going to be able to meet each other again, and it's going to feel great. It's like a reunion. That's the best way. It's like a family reunion. You're seeing cousins, your galactic cousins, and that's the vibe I pick up, and that's the vibe we can create when we get excited about this. So doing what we're doing today, doing when you come in to talk with us in April, getting the excitement going. They love that. They love when we get excited, because that shows our innocence and our purity. And they respond really, really well to purity. Everything's about purification. We talked about this the other day, purifying your body with your hydrogen water. This is excellent work. Excellent. They love that,
When you say they, do you mean the ETs, these higher ETs? Is that who they are?
Well, I haven't been able to identify them by name, and I need a little help with this, because I'm new. This is fresh for me.
Expert, really, a connoisseur of channeling. So
right.
Was this the first time you ever channeled something like ETs on February 14th, Valentine's Day?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, no, I've always been in communication with them, but I've never done it publicly yet. I do this privately for myself as a way to sort of heal myself, for one, because I find this to be very healing. That's why they're coming to help us heal. Mm-hmm. And this is very, very, they really would rather not have to come and deal with us right now, because they've got other things they want to do, but the humans need help. So, they're coming in to help us. That's why we don't, anyways, that's a whole nother topic. But yes, I've done this privately with myself, but I'm just starting to come out with it like public.
So is this like today's show, this live show we're doing right now, is this the first time you've ever channeled live on YouTube? I love these exclusives. Yes?
Yeah. I mean, I might get emotional, because it's a big journey for me to it, and I'm so grateful for it, but I'm a little like, I'm new. It's like a baby lamb, or like a little baby deer. It's like I when I was doing that session with those women, and I got a little bit like, they all came and just like hugged me, and like and it was just a beautiful experience. And so as I heal my own self and my own things in this lifetime, it becomes easier for me to open up. So it's really just releasing all of the things, that are in the way of it. And then once I can do that for myself, I can help other people better to open up, right? Because we have to start with ourselves first.
Right. That's how you get here, because you've worked on yourself and you've gone deeper into yourself, and suddenly you transcend the personal and you start to tap into the infinite, which is what you do as a medium, psychic, intuitive.
Yep.
So how do you start to channel? I mean, what do you do to prepare?
I don't really have a set thing yet. That's the thing. Like, I'm like, it's not that I don't know what I'm doing. I just usually like to kind of settle down a little bit, and, it's very free form. It's very intuitive. It's not, I really, honestly, and this is where I could use a little help, because I was, I don't get mad, but I watched like a program on Gaia about channeling to help me better understand what was going on with me. And I did not like it, Alan. I didn't like it. It really scared me. I really fucking didn't like it. And so I don't know why. I'm not sure why, but
it's your unique.
I can't write a description like immediately. I was like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, tell you how to do this. You already have the gift, Julie. So maybe that's why you didn't like it, because you don't need anyone to tell you how to do it. So
exactly.
Right. And no one needs anybody to tell them how to do it. But I mean, it's good to see it just to get familiar, but you have your own connection. That's what I feel.
Yeah. I appreciate that, because it's a learning curve, right? We have to understand how to take care of our own energy so that we can better, work with the energies that are wanting to come in, because it's just light codes. It's very, okay, so they're starting now a little bit because they're like, get into it, they're very, I love them because they're like, they just don't mess around, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's fabulous, like totally my people. It's like that. It's like our people are coming back down. So right now, what they're telling me is that they're working on the landing. They're, in terms of the ships and all of that coming into this reality, they're working on the precision of the landing of the craft, because that's really, really important to get that connection. Really, like they're very, the ones that I'm working with right now, they're very, very precise, and they're very smooth with things. It's a very smooth thing. And so they're very focused on the initial, the land, how that's going to, the earth and them are going to connect energetically. So they're studying that right now. So there may be sightings where ships are coming in and they're coming back off again, or they're working on their landing right now. Okay, so this is where there's going to be like, they're doing the best they can, but it's a tough energy to absorb, right? So they really want to get that right out of respect for the planet, because that's why they're here, to help heal the planet too. So it's almost like they're showing it to me almost like crop dusting a little bit. Like they may come first and allow and not sprinkle anything, dangerous, but just, it's almost like rose water. I love rose water, right? They love rose water. So the flowers, like things like this, like they want to send this kind of, but rose water is the only thing I can really think to describe what they want to, what might come through first. And there'll be like a sweetness in the air. There'll be a kind of scent in the air. So really, really important right now. We really want to work on the earth, on allowing the flowers to really bloom, because that will help. There's the flowers are almost like an intermediary, because the sensitivity of the flower resonates with the energies of these beings coming in. Okay. And they're beautiful. Like they're laughing at people like on the red carpet. They're like, oh, you haven't seen anybody yet. You know what I mean? Like you think Charlize Theron's one of them. She comes from this. I don't know. This is where I need help. Like what, if they're Palladian, they're Syrian, I'm not sure yet. So I don't want to get caught up in.
It doesn't matter what name you give them, because everyone has their own terminology. That will come later. It doesn't matter where. I think the fact that you are getting messages, you are downloading this, you're in contact with these beings. And when you say landing, you mean a smooth integration of them into our reality and us into their reality? Is that what?
Yes, it's a welcoming though, where our energy is that that's where they come and they want the feminine to sort of, because they want to be welcome. They don't need to be welcomed. They don't want to be welcomed, but it'll go a lot easier if they are, because it's happening. They have to come here, Alan. They have to. We can't keep destroying the planet the way it's going. It's not going to get any better. So we can either ask and be grateful for their help and allow them and welcome them, or we can be all fear-based and shoot them out of the sky. It's like, why would I don't understand the fear, like that. I really don't.
I don't understand it either, because if they wanted to invade or take over, they would have done it a long time ago. And
it's our own fear. It's the collective fear of all the powers that be that create fear-based entities. That's why all this bad rap, they get such a bad rap, because it's our own fear manifesting them. You know
what I would say? I say it represents the unknown, and there's nothing to fear about the unknown. People just project the known onto the unknown and say, oh no, but no one really knows. And I'm really excited about what this shift of reality is really going to be like. And that's so exciting, because we're about to open a new door to a whole new world. It's like, Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, where goes from black and white to color. And it's like, oh my God, we're not in Kansas anymore. It's like.
That's exactly the feeling. That's exactly the vibe. That's what they want us to be excited. This is like we need to hope, it's like you're going to wear your best dress and you're going to, put flowers and candles out. It's like add some romance to it. This is beautiful. Divine partnerships are already starting to come into fruition. those that are connected are already starting to come together. So there's a reason, they came through to me on Valentine's Day about love and romance. There is that component to it. Make it feel like that. That's who doesn't want to call in this beautiful, divine being. It's kind of like Avatar too, how they fell in love, beautiful representation of what this experience. Excellent. So there's already being reflected in the culture. So films like that, these are good. These are good representations. Excellent, and we can start to warm it up. We need to warm it up, for them, because they're so sensitive. We think we're so sensitive. These creatures, these beings are just, they're all light. You know what I'm saying? And they're sensitive. So we just have to have some tenderness, like show, have a little tenderness, right? Like that song. That's a great, I don't know, is that Motown? Try a little tenderness, right?
Right. But, I'm interested as if you can go into a trance, if you want to, of course, and see what comes through beyond the human dimension, if you care to do that.
Well, they're having a good time. I can tell you that. Like, they're playing with us. There's a playful energy. We're like little children to them. You know what I mean? And they're just sort of, they love us, and it's really sweet and a little bit annoying. You know what I mean? So they just have to have fun. It's kind of like raising children, right? It's like you got to find a way to make it fun. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy, So this has been happening for a long time. Like, this is not some new thing. They've been watching us. They've been being with us. They've been doing the best they can to take care of us. But we've just been, I want to hear. I don't want to see. I don't, like those monkeys, So it's very like, they're just feeling excited. It's not that they're not nervous either, Alan. It's scary for them too. Like, we're doing big stuff here. We're changing the world. We're changing the.
Right.
They're just sensitive and scared as we are, and it's okay. So they work with each other. They calm their nerves because they have to come into our dense stuff, and it's scary for them. So let's have a little compassion and a little bit of like less about us and what are they going through right now? How can we help them?
That's interesting. It's like a first. I said it's like a first date. You're showing up at the girl's house, and it's like you're meeting the family, and it's like, that's a little exaggerated, but they have been here, though. It's not like they're just arriving. They've been in and out. Lots of people have had contact.
Oh yeah, they fully understand human life. That's why they're the ones that are coming, because they've been through this whole Earth thing a million times. They're just at the next level. So that's what I'm saying. They're not that different than us. They're really not. They're not gray with big black eyes. They're not. They look like you. They look like you, Al. We got to really get rid of that whole crazy thing about, they're already here. The transgender people are a great representation of what's happening, because we're creating a new species. We're creating a new species of human. And it's important that the genders start to merge. It's important that we start to create a good start. It's like priming the pump, okay? Because this is just what it needs to happen in order for everybody to ascend. We're doing the hard work. People like you, like me, like our friends coming in. And, the rest of the planet is just in lockdown. You know what I mean? So we have to get this energy going. Our mission is being ignited, right? So we're going to get really busy doing this work, because it's coming, and we have to be the ones, like the gatekeepers, that help people understand what's happening, because it's just going to happen. We can't control it,
So you're talking about one particular race of beings that you're connected with, that are going to be arriving anytime soon, the next 2 years, 10 years, 20 years? What's the
time? Is just an illusion. They'll come when we're ready to come. It's up to us. They're ready. They've been ready for ages. But we still have to wake up. We have some more waking up to do. We have some more healing to do. We have some more allowing to do. We have to erase some of the dialogue and cut, delete and enter a new thinking, a new mindset. We need to upgrade our energy, because as our energy upgrades, they can come down. It's totally up to us. We can sit in fear and worry and stress and talk about this shit all day long, and they're just going to hover right around there, just like they have been. You know what I mean? But if we can release and allow and open, it'll just be a better introduction, is my point.
So what needs to change for us? What do we have to do to make that really cohesive resonance?
Yeah, well, we have to work on our own personal healing, our own private. There's a privacy. It's not personal, it's private. There's something very sacred about each individual human, that it's like that sacred knowledge, that sacred, like that truth, that runs through all of us. But our own private connection, it's kind of strengthening that. They're telling me it's like getting into alignment is what we say, right? That's what the humans call it, right? I'm getting into alignment, right? That's the best thing for us to do. We got to plug in like a lightning rod. So continuing to get people to relax so that they can find that alignment and get into source, because that's, it's kind of like our energy is like this and their energy is like that, and they're going to merge. It's almost like, instead, like they're going to let, because we live on, the earth, but like this, but it's really a vertical alignment that's happening. Do you feel me? So the more we're in alignment with our own energy, the more they can get closer. It's not horizontal, it's vertical. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So should we go like Sedona, me and you, Julie, and tap into the vortex and call them in, and other people?
Yeah, Sedona's a great place for it to start. This is where they got birthed, okay? But Sedona might not be where they land, because they need big grassy fields. They need big runways. They need open space and grass, high grasses. So maybe the Midwest is a great place where there's tall grass. They'll love that. They love like a big grassy, typical American, amber waves of grain, like that. That kind of like that. That's a nice place for them to land, because they can spread out a little bit. You know what I mean? And but that might not happen right away. You know what I mean? We're not quite ready for that shit, but it'll happen.
Do we prepare a landing? There are people talking about that. I know about 3 different organizations that are preparing landing strips. So
oh really? Oh yeah. If I would love to be a part of that, because I know just what it looks like. I know what they like, and it just needs to be soft.
Right. Let's do it. Let's go to some of these landings, and
yeah, that'd be super fun.
Yeah. So but there's a bigger yeah, go ahead. No, I was just saying there's a bigger message here that I think we need to learn before we can really make this open contact. And what are they telling you about that?
Well, it's all preparation, right? So we're just in a preparation stage. There's no need to rush this. Rushing is creating more resistance. Okay. So it's allowing. We can't make this shit happen. We think, that's part of the problem. Right? Is that, but preparing, it's about your intention. It's about setting the intention for it, right? And then with that intention, then it goes to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. So preparing that's a great thing to do, is prepare the bed, prepare the open field. We can start to clear that out. We can crop circles are a great way to kind of understand that. That's what they were trying to look for, places to land. They're like, assess the soil, there's all the right conditions. This is very precise energy. But they're not messing. What we really need is the scientists to get on board. The ones that can really figure out like granular technology. Like there's just something about the soil and the land. So environmental scientists would be really good. Just energy scientists, like people who can really study conditions, weather people, all of that stuff, like who are open and want to create the best possible, scenario, and who are into this, and who like it and who are excited like we are. Those are the people that are going to help with this. So right now, a good use of your time is to connect with those people, find those tribes, and then just start.
Well, why don't you come to Contact in the Desert? I'm going to be speaking there in June. or that's a big gathering of thousands of people, that's where we'll find Contact in the Desert if you're watching. Join us, and we'll find the crew that we need to create this field of dreams, in a sense, you know?
Yeah, we need a documentary filmmaker. It needs to be documented sensitively. Very,
Yes.
not some dude who's just got his camera. No, it's not like that. And you know, a really good person would be like a National Geographic photographer. I have a friend who photographs animals. Someone of that caliber would be a really, really good person to bring in too. So whether they're a filmmaker or a photographer, someone who understands wildlife, that kind of person would be excellent to have on our team.
What about Mount Shasta? Have you ever been up to Mount Shasta?
Yeah, I have. It's great. You know, it's a great place to just kind of rough it, you know, with your emotions when you're feeling rugged. It's like got a rugged quality. I mean, Saint Germain, I know is there. So I like Shasta for its realness, and you really can't avoid anything there. And I like that. It's kind of, but it's a very specific palette, you know, and it's not, I do feel like there's just there's something underneath all of it there that is I don't know.
I think there is something there that's not quite. I don't always feel like it's easy in Mount Shasta. I prefer Mount Rainier.
Exactly. It's not. No. So it's not. They don't really like They don't. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty. They can fly over and check it out. It's gorgeous, but they don't. There's something unhealed about it. That's why it's such a healing place, because it's healing itself. You know what I mean? Inside of it, there's something that went down there, yet that there's maybe a lot of death or a lot of inner turmoil there, you know, somehow. And so it's healing itself. So people want to go there because it's actively healing. It's almost like a volcano. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it freaking erupted at some point. So you got to be really careful. You got to know where to go. Yeah. Heal Mount Shasta. That would be the journey, is to heal Mount Shasta. We think it's healing us, but it's just calling people to it who are healing, because that's its energy. So it's good for some stuff, but it's kind of like, you know, scraping the dead skin off. You know what I mean? It's not gentle. It's not
Why don't you ask your guys there? Why now? I mean, people have been working on themselves for at least 100 years of psychology. And is there something different about this time now that these?
Yes. Well, COVID helped. I mean, I hate to say it. I know it was a mass destruction and loss of life, and very scary. That helped because it's opening things up again, right? So that's a big thing. 3.5 years of COVID. Yeah, there's an awakening. Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? So all of that, like, that's a big one. Also, I just think they're planetarily, with Pluto transiting into Aquarius and the Aquarian age. I don't know much about these things, but it's in a line. That's the timing of it. That's what I mean. It's bigger than just our own little, like, oh, let's make this happen thing. There's everything needs to be in alignment, you know, for that to happen. So we have to be patient. That, you know, that's we just have to kind of, you know, allow it to happen. You know, you don't want your desperation to interfere with anything. It picks up on these things, subtle clues, very easily. So when we fear and we get nervous, or we feel like, oh, we got to make this happen, they just go away. You know what I mean? It's like a butterfly. You don't just, you know, the butterfly needs to come and land on your hand.
Right.
A visualization for the energy to come through is imagining a butterfly landing in the palm of your hand. That's the feeling.
Wow.
So we're healing. This is a healing thing.
No, I think it's a really big healing thing for humanity itself, because we've been so at each other's, literally, and it's been a mess. The 20th century was one of the most awful times in human history. So hopefully it's better, but it doesn't look like. I mean, it's still war, famine, destruction, greed, corruption, political, you know, nonsense going on. So what can we do to prepare? I think I just asked this, but is there something each individual can do, like work on themselves, you're saying, but something bigger, come together in groups, and which we'll be doing? But yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming together in groups, normalizing these kinds of conversations. Well, we're creating a new earth. So anyone who is open to that, healers, mystics, guy, all these people, like everyone who talks about that, that's what we're doing. So we want to find future focused beings. You know what I mean? So releasing anyone in your life who's stuck in the past, who's lingering back there, and anything dark. It is the changes within us, you know, it really is. But there's also collectively what we can do is just start getting on with the mission, getting on with the task at hand, which is allowing the energy to come through by doing all these things we've talked about. So making it a priority, they're saying, instead of just like keeping it down there as like something that you pull out every now and then, right? This is a practice of making contact. It's something that once we start, we have to keep it going because they don't like to be ignored. You know what I mean? We have to, like, they're, you know, it's just like, we can't play with them. It's just like a relationship. So what would you do when you meet someone new, you know, how, like, that's kind of the energy, right? A lot of that is going to be about, some fears coming up, sure, but also just getting excited and getting kind of like just getting the energy revved up for a big thing, you know, and that's something that we can do just in our own lives. And I think by talking about it, by getting the message out, getting other people relates, and then next thing, it's kind of like a secret that's being passed around. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that idea. It's almost like telephone, you know, when you would like play those games and like you'd say it to one. This is like imagine it being like kind of being like spread around like a secret, like, but sacred knowledge. It's kind of like they're saying, you know, when tarot was invented, they embedded secret knowledge into the cards, and they used it as a playing cards because that's where people could get the sacred knowledge because they were playing parlor games, you know, back when this was all going on. So it's kind of like that, like they love that. So another good thing is forget our filmmakers, our storytellers, and our people who are creatively changing the narrative of our culture, critical. So someone, I don't know if it's James Cameron or whoever did Avatar, people like that, people who are in charge of creating stories and narratives for our culture, infiltrating them with positive messaging so that they can continue to stop making these horrible films that are shoot 'em up dark shit. Don't watch that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's easy. Turn it off. You know what I mean? And let's start to create things that are highly, because we just got to change the narrative. That's all, you know? And we can do that through entertainment because people are in a relaxed state. When they're reading the news, they're right. So we need the Hollywood people to step up and be like, okay, let's make the story, you know, or whoever it is that can share something to the masses that will allow them to get the information without even knowing that they're getting it. You know what I mean? It's literally like that. Do you feel me?
So it's other people have talked about a wave of ascension, the vibrational shift that the planet and a lot of us are going through. So what does the new Earth look like? Let's say they land, great, they're here. Tune into that.
It's like utopia. It's kind of like, you know, in that movie A Wrinkle in Time that they did about that story. There was a scene in that movie, I only watched it once, where they're flying through like the field. Like that's a really good movie to kind of start to tap into the energies. I didn't see the whole thing, so I can't speak on like every part of it.
Better though, I have to say the book. Yeah.
It's just it's kind of like, it's a little bit sparklier. Everything, it's kind of like being hot. It's kind of like being on not LSD, but it's almost like you almost feel like you're a little bit like on an acid trip of some sort, but a really, really good one. You know what I mean? One that's action ends, that's just but it's very nature based. You know, there's definitely a lot more nature going on. People are not needing to go, like the cities, unfortunately, are going to start to, you know, they may kind of need to I don't know. It's nature. That's why they want to land in an open space, because the colony around that center, because they'll come in with their ship, and that will almost be like a temple. You know what I mean? Like it almost like, I don't know what it looks like. Yeah, it'll change. Like it'll come in, like this is how good they are. It'll come in like just like on your cover of your book. It looks just like that. It's this beautiful silver. It's just gorgeous. It's like not even know, you know what I mean? Like a Tesla's beautiful. This is like gorgeous. Okay. Very, very beautiful, very high end, like most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Okay. And it'll come in, but then it almost it just transforms like a transformer. Like they loved when they did the Transformers in the 80s, those toys. It's almost a different, it's kind of like they're showing it to me, like there's a big orb out in the desert. I would love to go there, a geometric orb place where you can go in like Palm Springs or something like that. What's it called?
The Integratron. I go there every year. It was by Alien. It was built under the direction of ETs. I made a movie about that called Calling All Earthlings. I'll show it to you. But yes, we should go. What happens at the Integratron if we went there?
Well, the Integratron was just a prelude. You know what I mean? That was just sort of they have to practice with this stuff. You know what I mean? They've got to put up different things. It's like a template, or it's like a prototype. That's the word. It's a prototype, right? So they want to see, how are the humans going to react to this? So they put that there first to see, what are they going to do when they come in here? Are they going to do, like, how are they going to engage with the energy of that? How are they going to feel, So that's kind of like a good start. And so like now it'll be a little bit different, but the openness of it, it will create, it'll almost colonize where people are going to want to, it's almost going to be like kind of not a hippie thing, but people are they're not going to want to leave it. That's the thing. They're going to feel so close to like home. Like, why would I ever want to leave this? It's like a temple, like back in like the Greek, the ancient Greek, gorgeous places for people to worship. Worship's not the right word, but for people to gather and for people to feel, just good about themselves. It's kind of like also like a fountain of youth type thing. So you're going to get you're going to get tourists that are going to come. That's why we need to be really careful. Edge of this, like our conversation right now is the leading edge. And the next thing you know, everyone's going to jump on board, and then it's going to be cool and trendy to talk about ETs. Like, we just know this is the pattern. Okay. So right now is establishing the order of things, because it's going to be chaos. Once the masses start to get on board, it's going to be like the iPhone, have one, and the next thing everyone's on their phone. It's that powerful. So we need to guide it and take care of it. We're like the guardians of this in a way.
How do we avoid the masses coming in and being excited? I mean, they're here to be excited. So I don't think there's a way to get around that, because we are the masses. We can't distinguish ourselves. We are the masses, Julie, and everyone watching. So who's to say who's allowed in and not, right? So what do they say?
Well, the ones that are most filled with light, for one, those are going to be the VIPs. You know what I mean? So if you want in on this, you got to get into the light, that's it. So it's going to be a circle, and it's going to be a ripple effect. You know what I mean? So the ones that are called, this is a calling. Okay. This is when I have to be here, especially those energetic grid workers, the missionaries here, the light workers here who are called to certain places, vortexes and things like that. They're essential, sacred. All of these people, we're just going to be called to it. It's not even going to, there's no plan, you're just going to know. And when you know and you trust that calling, it'll happen. And then those are going to be the first wave, the first ones, the early responders. You know what I mean? It's almost like we do need a few people who so we need people, doctors without borders types, like that would be really good. Someone who understands the human form. We definitely need them there, because their bodies might kind of, might change, you know what I'm saying? So
that's funny that we are the first responders. I think that's true. That's a really good way to put it. And because we are already responding, you're bringing them through, but I know there's inner work to do, and there's a sort of, still seems like there's a barrier. I mean, you're open, but I feel like I'd love to be in more contact like you are I'm in contact in my own way, but you have a direct line. I'm going through like a switchboard or something. How do you get a direct line?
You do your work, you have a spiritual practice, you work on yourself, you activate your light and you hold it as long as you can. I do healing work, I do readings, that keeps my light on. You have to find it, and once you find it, even if it's just a glimmer of it, you just hold that as much as you can and you activate it. You consciously live your life from that place. You start there. It's consciousness, right? I mean, you have so many experts that talk about consciousness. I'm not a consciousness expert, but there's plenty of people who are. So they'll know, they'll be able to help people in a little bit more, there's just different types of people. Some people are going to resonate with my message. There's plenty of people talking about these things, it's very much, it's just going to be something that as people feel better about themselves, they'll be more open to it. It's just a natural thing. I don't know how else to really explain it other than healing as many people that I can so that they open up, so that they can also receive the beauty and the love that's coming through. Right. So all the healers are going to be really busy. I mean, COVID, they had the nurses busy. Now the energetic nurses of the world, like us, so the guidance is to get on your mission, get on it. Don't ignore it anymore. Everybody is here for a mission. Everyone's a light worker. We're all, so you're either in the light or you're in the dark, right? So once you know what your mission is, you have to work your mission. You know what I mean? It's one thing to talk about it. Oh, no, I'm in the trenches day in and day out, getting people through the muck. That's what I do, so we'll see.
There this that you recommend, like an internal meditation type practice that you would connect with your beings? Tell us.
What I'm doing now, Alan, which is really exciting, and this is where we need to get the nutritionists involved, is that I'm purifying. It's a process of purification. The more I purify my body, the more I purify my thoughts, my thinking, my feeling, the purer I get, the more I get, the more it's just, I just get more information and more purify my body in particular, because that was my big fear, was in my body, not feeling comfortable in my body a lot. That's why the women are so important. The feminine energy is so important. That's another great thing we can do, is heal the collective female shame trauma around our bodies. That is a big thing needs to come out, because that is what has been stopping us from this contact to happen more quickly, is that feminine wound, and so the Me Too movement, that, I don't know, it's neither here nor there, but that we need to heal that, collectively, feminine trauma. And through my body, like I'm on a cleanse right now, pure for the first time, and it feels amazing. And so I noticed that as I cleanse and heal myself, my physical body, I get more information. It just comes naturally. I don't have to do anything. It's about releasing the toxins. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and stopping the old ways, the bad habits, the alcohol, whatever it is that people do that has clogged them up. Just even wheat, for me, I can't even eat wheat, maybe a little dairy and sometimes meat, but I do try to eat clean. And I still feel maybe I need to do more meditation or something to really connect in. Do you think?
As much fresh air as possible. Like you need to be by the water. You need to hydrate with the water. So you're in New York, like, can you get to the ocean? You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if it's cold, but if there's a way, you would be most alive and healthiest by living near the ocean, near the beach.
By the ocean.
So
I go every summer. I spend a month at the ocean, but yeah, all the time. Yes.
That's a good place for you, because you have that Poseidon energy. You have a deep underwater connection. You're like Poseidon, so you can channel through the dolphins and the whales and the sea creatures. So for you personally, get down with all that, you know what I mean, and connect with that as a way to ground yourself. You're much more fluid than you give yourself credit for, you know what I mean? And so you need to kind of work with that energy a little bit more. That would really help you, Seahorses in particular.
I think you're right. Yeah, yeah. Like beaches are, that is my favorite environment, the beach. I mean, I like desert, I like mountains, but water is really,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's your home. Seahorses are really good for you. So find a seahorse for you that's like you're part of that, So watching them or just getting like a statue of a seahorse would be really beautiful. It's the fluidity of that. Fish, just being able to watch fish, I mean, I think sometimes seeing them in an aquarium, it might be a little bit difficult for you because you don't like that. You don't like people to be captivated, but just seeing that, even if it's just, if you have to get a screensaver, like anything that you can turn, that kind of experience will help calm you,
Yeah, no,
So, yeah.
thank you for saying that. But the masses, I mean, there's so much density here, not to judge anyone, but there's people still doing, I mean, people have no clue about what you're talking about. And will there be a mass awakening, or will they just go on in a way clueless? Or
I don't know. We're writing that story right now. We're creating this new reality. So the story is yet to be written. There is no outcome yet. You know what I'm saying? Will it be? That's the fun part. It's like we're co-creating now. And so what we can make it whatever we want to make it. We're free, it's people like us who are creating the new narrative. They'll come on board, but it's like we have to just sort of get the ball rolling a little bit. And then we can make it however we want to do it. We just have to understand that we're not alone in this process.
well,
For the help.
the ball is rolling. We're rolling that ball down that hill. It's picking up momentum. There's more people aware of these other realities, and we just have to keep the course steady, right? We can't let distractions and illusions and dramas, all that, get in the way of the bigger vision here.
That's right. Absolutely. Clean open spaces. Any work around cleaning up the environment, always a good idea, always a good thing to support, especially the oceans and, clean up the environment. And I'm not even an environment like me, Julie, like I live in a, very environmentally friendly place, but I don't do everything, my part, but that's something else I can do. Recycle more, volunteer to help clean up the beach, whatever, that will help. So if people don't know what to do and they're stressed out, go help pick up litter off the street. They just despise litter. So stop littering. Anybody who does that, no. That is not okay. That is such an incredible, beyond disrespectful. So we need to messaging around littering, you know what I mean? Like public service announcements, or just shift the narrative around that.
Well, what's behind the littering? I mean, it's painful for me if I would throw something out. It would actually hurt. It would actually not feel good, you know?
But that's what some people are still doing that. They're still throwing their McDonald's things out the window on the highway. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how can that's how, what I mean? And, Ellen, you and I, we got to work with the people who are, that's not our job. You know what I mean? You got to know your job. Are you here to wake up the masses, or are you here to invite our galactic friends to a fun party? You got to know your job. You can't do it all. So do I want to worry about those guys? No, I got bigger shit to do, so stop and address those, we can't do everything. We have to take care of ourselves and do what we can, and just be honest and about what it is that we're here to do and why. And
well, I do think there's a new time coming. That's why I wrote this book, Making Contact. And in the very beginning of the book, do you have your copy there?
Yes.
Right. You see the introduction on, what is that? That first page, the introduction. It says, and below the introduction, I got this great quote by this abolitionist, people anti-slavery. And can you just read that quote underneath my name there? Because I think you could do it justice.
The one from William Ellery Channing?
Yes. Let me what you think of this. Go ahead.
Okay. There are seasons in human affairs of inward and outward, when new depths seem to be broken up in the soul, when new wants are unfolded in multitudes, and a new and undefined good is thirsted for. Yes, yes, that's it. A new and undefined good is thirsted for. That is it. I have so many things underlined in your book, but I want to underline it. That's all you need to say. Take out the rest. You know what I mean? They need all the fluff around it, but okay, let's see if there's anything else. There are periods when the principles of experience need to be modified. When hope and trust and instinct claim a share in the guidance of affairs, when in truth to dare is the highest wisdom. Whew.
Say it all in a way, doesn't that?
It really covers it.
Yeah, that's
Dare is the highest wisdom. Dare is not the right word. Courage, risk.
Dare. I mean, dare to be different. Dare to stand up for the truth. Dare to be yourself. Dare
That's not the right word. The language is really important. It's really important. The word dare does not belong in the vernacular.
Word to find the courage to be different. You're saying
Courage.
to be courage.
That's a higher vibrational word than dare. Dare just creates fear. Remember when you played Dare, Truth and Dare? It was terrifying.
That was written in the that quote is from 1844. But
it's beautiful, but a new and undefined good is thirsted for. That's an opener.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
right now. I'm like, yes, like that is it. Like,
yeah.
Key, new and good is thirsted for. Oh my God, that is gorgeous. So
yes.
That's the piece.
So that's the piece. So for this transmission, is there anything you want to really drop into and transmit out to the audience? Because you said some beautiful things, but put it all together and just give us a little download.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. I mean, this is as we heal ourselves, we heal other people, we heal ourselves. So it's very important to keep talking about these things because we're doing the work just by having these conversations. So much is already cleared. It's just a clearing. Everything is a clearing. Okay. For all they're going to show, it's a clearing. There's a reason it's called that, So I just encourage everybody to continue to do the work. We're doing a really good job. I think sometimes we get so upset that we're not doing enough. What else can we do? What else can we do? And we just need to just appreciate how far we've come, for one, because it's not easy to be so much compassion for us, and they know because they've been here, they get it. So talk to your guide, talk to your guides, if what is coming through from me doesn't resonate with you, find your own group, you know what I mean? Your own tribe, your own people, your aunts, whoever, just open yourself up spiritually to the unseen world, and for some people it's nature, for some people it's talking to their dead grandmother, it's just finally realizing how important that is. It's become a necessity like water. To have that connection, it's love that we're just denying ourselves by not accessing it. Everything is love. Everything is opening up for the highest and best good of all. I mean, the all. And this is a big change. And it's okay it's transformation. Transformation takes time and it's not always easy. So we just got to work with the energies. We got to continue. Relax, and just wherever we can calm things down and just soothe the energies, that's really the best thing to do. So if someone calls you, help up someone in need, you know what I mean? This is a time to give back to those people who are, a little bit more lost than you are. That will help bring these energies. They respond really well to the human spirit, and the human spirit is very beautiful and very strong. We just lost it, we lost it along the way somewhere, and we just have to go back and pick it back up again and remember that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and that all our problems, all our worries are just a tiny little how we just don't even know how magnificent we really are. It's kind of like that Marianne Williamson quote, how she talks about that. We don't know, we're more afraid of our power than we are, of our dark, because it's so big, and it's so exciting. And, just, I would hate for anyone to be denied that. They don't need to go without for so long. So just trust us, and allowing that to just be comforted, comforted and cared for by, beings and energies that simply want to love and adore us, because we are special and we forget that, and it's okay. It's all okay. Forgiveness. Personal forgiveness is probably the best thing that you can, when you achieve forgiveness, like really forgive, whether it's someone that really, really hurt you, that opens you up even more. As you learn the lessons, as you release all these things, as you forgive, you'll get more insights, you'll get more downloads, you'll be able to communicate, and they'll guide you. We're already connected. That's the thing. We don't have to wait for the spaceship to land. They're already here. We just have to sort of have a conversation, get to know them, It's really simple.
So do you feel, because we've done this conversation, that the ship is landing close? Do you get a sense that they're coming closer in because of all this?
I think 2026, something about 2026. I know people are talking about 2024. There'll be another thing in 2024, another deposit, but it's not at 2026. We'll if we continue to do this work, we're on track for that, I would say. And that's what, 3 years? Yeah. So if we continue to do this work that we're doing today, I would say that would be the earliest time, we could, potentially see something very, very, like in the material world, but we got to clear out all the space for that to happen. But I don't see it being any sooner than that. So you got 3 years. You got 3 years, people, to get your shit together. You know what I mean? Because, you're either gonna go with it and enjoy it, or you're gonna fight against it, and it's just gonna be harder. But we might as well just, appreciate that and go with the energy instead of trying to fight it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I think you're tuned into something, and it's interesting that out of nowhere, this energy kind of came to you. It's like
it hasn't been out of nowhere.
Oh, it hasn't been.
It's been personal for me. This is the first time, Ellen, that I've spoken publicly about this. So I thank you for letting them come through, because platforms like this allow the energies to come through. It's one thing for me to sit here at home and do all this, and that's great. I was manifesting, and so now we're here, right? So, but now it's just sort of like this idea of continuing to do that. So it's just, normalizing the conversations, having someone like me talk about ETs and all of that. Like, I'm a girl from Michigan, from the Midwest, I grew up in the masses of the mass. I don't have a degree in anything, I mean, psychology, a normal person, you know what I'm saying? So if this has been exciting for anybody, if this resonates with anybody, they can talk to me too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I can help people have that kind of awakening, but I can certainly help them clear things out that allow the awakening to naturally occur.
Right. So you're a great reader, you're a great intuitive. So if people want to do a session with you, how do they find you?
Easily. They can go to my website, frontiertarot.com, and they can just book a reading there. So that's probably the easiest way to do it, is to go through my website.
Frontier, I'm putting this in the chat, frontiertarot.com.
Yeah. And I also do, for those on Instagram, I do lives every Tuesday at 10 a.m. So I spend an hour channeling.
What's your Instagram?
It's Frontier Tarot, at Frontier Tarot.
Okay. Instagram.
So yeah.
Frontier Tarot. Yeah, okay, gotcha. I'm going to put that in there too. All right, great. Okay. Well, Julie, I think there's a lot more that's going to be activated in you as you kind of drop deeper into yourself. I mean, I think you're just beginning on this contact journey, and you're going to be surprised about the revelations of these beings because you've opened up this channel and it's just kind of looking like it's just opening. It's going to keep rushing in, and don't be overwhelmed if it looks like too much. You're good. You can handle it. I'll help you hold space for it. And there's a lot coming into you, and welcome it, because you're a bridge to the unknown. Yeah.
Yeah, that rainbow bridge, man, that rainbow bridge is full. And did you see those images of someone captured a rainbow from space? And it's a whole circle. It was stunning. So it's like we just see the arch here, but it's really a circle. A rainbow is a circle. Oh my God. I was like, yes, this is the kind of this should be on the front page of the news. You know what I mean? It's just these discoveries. So, all of this stuff, this is where we can start to feed this, and get excited about these things, because they're showing us it's already happening, so look for the signs, look for the synchronicities, the symbols. That's a great thing for people to do. They're going to start to see that, you know what I mean? They're going to start to shift. So it's really great,
Would you say this is really the activation of the Aquarian age? Are we in it?
I think so. I think we're at the threshold. I keep getting a lot of threshold energy, coming through in my privates. So it's like you're at the threshold. So it's like there's the door there, right? There's the threshold, and we just have to walk through it. Yeah. And, for some, there's a door and they got to push it because it's just an archway and they just waltz right through, but there's a definite distinction between this and the next, right? So there is a shift. Sleeping is very important too. It's very important that people who are ascending and who are doing this with us, they get a lot of sleep. So don't be surprised if you get tired easily, if you need to take a nap, if you just let your body receive a lot is going on in sleep time, so just that's another great way to kind of prepare, is to let your sleep kind of just give it more. You might wrestle with it. Yeah, it's that there's just something about sleep that we still we're not right there yet. So getting experts to talk about helping people sleep would be a really good to have in our team too, because there's a lot that happens during that time.
I agree. I love sleep. I love that regeneration and sleep. And I've been doing this Edgar Casey device. You can regenerate through this battery in cold water, and it's just so deep and so healing. I should tell you about that. It just puts me in such a relaxed, peaceful state. It's a whole reset. And I'm doing some other things. I'd like the hydrogen water. You're doing the Purium, I know. And there's so many new technologies that are very exciting. So, Julie, it's always nice to see you.
No, you too, Alan. I'm so grateful for you and all this you created this huge pathway for all of this. Like, you were the runway maker, like you really did. So they acknowledge you did dare, you did take that risk. And they're so grateful to you. So they're always going to provide for you, personally, because you are, on the forefront of so many of this, and a lot of your friends and things like that. Like, you guys really, people like me who are coming online now, we stand on the shoulders, of what you have started. So you did a huge clearing just by the work that you've been doing and continue to do. So just keep doing it, and more will come, and we can actually reverse aging. There's all kinds of cool shit that they're going to show us. We're going to get younger and more youthful. I mean, it's like literally the fountain of youth is coming in a spaceship, and we're just like, no, when that's all we really want, you know what I mean? So let's let them show us, right?
Exactly. Well, yes, we're ready for it. We're ready for this inner and outer transformation. And you say, keep going. There's nothing else to do here except kind of engage in this excitement of this new possibility. But it's not even a possibility, because it's happening. It's ongoing manifestation of the unknown, of a
Another
new.
great visualization that I'll leave you with is putting down an energetic railroad. When they built the railroads, because it's the frontier. That's why I named my business Frontier Tarot, because this is, you know, like mission, right? So think about the people who lay the railroad tracks across the country to allow us to connect to there, right? And so that's for some people who need more of like, I need more than just all this woo-woo stuff. You know what I mean? You guys are the ones who I'm speaking to now. Lay an energetic railroad track down. It's a great news. Just imagine that kind of coming through where you're just laying the, you know, you're laying the tracks for them. So everybody has a job, you know what I mean? So like that runway that's happening now, it's like creating a layer, you know, like the same as they did. It takes time, you know, to build that. So there's no rush in here, but it's anything that you can do that it's like day in and day out, the ones that are really good at that, we need them because they're the ones that are going to kind of keep this next thing going. So we need to call upon the people that are really diligent, okay, who are really good at kind of laying the foundation, okay? So people who are really connected to the earth, people who are really builders. If we could pull all the people and the ones that understand, you know, these kinds of things, land surveyors, there's great talent hidden within these trades, you know what I mean? So getting them to work, you know, energetically. I think it's another great thing to do.
Great, Julie. Thank you. Let's do this. Let's continue to go deeper and deeper. I'll check out your Instagram. When are you doing your Instagram? What time is it?
10 a.m. Pacific on Tuesdays.
All right. I'm going to look at that.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone who's watching. Look up Julie Greene. She is a great medium, reader, empath, psychic, intuitive. Look her up. And thank you for watching New Realities, and stay tuned for some more, I think, really fantastic people coming on the show. So
it's just starting. The party's just getting good.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you.
Okay.